News, a service, a Barong Insurance Agency, 4 arrests in Blaine County over illegal re-entry to the U.S. That's the big story for 7:30. I'm John Matthews. Over the past 2 months, a federal grand jury in Oklahoma City has charged 23 individuals with illegal re-entry into the United States after previous deportation. The Office of the United States Attorney says 4 of those arrests occurred in Blaine County. If found guilty, the defendants face up to 20 years in federal prison, fines up to $250,000 each, and removal from the United States following completion of any imposed sentence. The city of Weatherford is working towards the beginning of a new sidewalk project, says Economic Development Director Yolanda Cresswell.
That's the sidewalk grant that goes out to Raider Park all the way up to the Stafford Museum and then on Main Street. Bids will be open August 13th.
Cresswell says the awarding of bids is planned for early September. Work in progress continues on the Exit 65-65A road construction project in Clinton, says Oklahoma Department of Transportation Division 5 engineer Will Snipes.
I would say that the traveling public should see paving of the eastbound lanes starting pretty quick, as well as the bridge completion on the 3 bridges that are being constructed right now. I would estimate that traffic would probably be switched to that newly constructed side probably as early as this fall. And at that point, they're going to do the demolition of the existing westbound lanes while traffic is on those newly constructed eastbound lanes.
Snipes says the contractor is either on or even slightly ahead of schedule for completion of the construction project. U.S. Senator James Lankford said he had the opportunity this week to visit the Diamondback ICE detention facility near Watonga.
I was given full access to be able to get through the facility. I got a chance to see the medical facility, to see all the treatment folks, all the medical professionals that are there. Went through the dining area, which looks a lot like a school cafeteria, by the way. Went through the kitchen, was able to go walk through all the kitchen, see the food, which is a lot like school cafeteria food, quite frankly. Walk through all of the visitation areas for families, the areas where you get a chance to be able to, for detainees to visit with their attorneys, video conferencing with attorneys or face-to-face. Walk through all the pods, got a chance to be able to see that, even the maximum security holding area for individuals where there's discipline.
Langford says the facility has low to high security areas. He said it's a well-run facility with an exceptional staff working to carry out American law, to have a secure border, detain or remove those who break the law. We'll have more news coming up next.
I'm talking to Michael Barong of Barong Insurance. Michael, tell me a little bit about why you think people should do business with Barong Insurance.
We've been in the community for 75 years, and we don't plan on going anywhere. I think that history and being rooted in the community really helps in how you approach taking care of, your customers. You want to do right by them, not for the short term, but for the long term.
For all types of insurance, it's Barong Insurance, the agency service-built. Barong Insurance.
In an effort to save AM radio in vehicles, Oklahoma Association of Broadcasters President Will Payne discusses current requests being made to national legislative leaders.
We're trying to save the radio in the dash. Automakers want to take it out for a profit center, and we're trying to keep AM, FM, HD radio in the dash for free. We've got great congressional support, but what we need is our congressional members to lean on leadership to say, put it to a vote on the House floor. It's that simple. We've got the votes in the House. We've got the votes in the Senate. We've got a supermajority. The president said he'd sign it, but we just can't get it to a vote. So we need our leadership to lean in and say, bring it to the House floor for a vote, and let's give it a shot, up or down.
While officials are currently pushing to save AM radio, Payne says the potential passage of legislation would shift efforts to ensuring the protection of FM radio as well. Next week, broadcasters from Oklahoma and across America plan to go to Capitol Hill in support of AM radio. Weatherford Mayor Mike Brown discusses recent hotel-motel tax receipts in the city.
We also got the hotel-motel results here recently, which were for May sales, and it was the highest number that we've ever had. I think there was almost $1 million in receipts for the month of May for the hotels, and so that turned into a pretty good chunk for our hotel-motel, and the hotel-motel distributes money to different groups that are bringing people to town or new events, and so one thing helps the other.
Brown says these revenues come from travelers who visit the community rather than taxpayers who live in the city. The public's invited to a farewell celebration for Watonga Police Chief Beth Massey. The 2-hour event will be held today in Watonga City Hall, beginning at 2 o'clock. Here's state news with the Radio Oklahoma Network.
News from the Radio Oklahoma News Network. I'm Ann Roberts. Another heat advisory will be in effect today for the entire state. That's why the Homeless Alliance is expanding its efforts as intense summer heat puts Oklahoma City's homeless at great risk. To account for an increase in demand, the group says it's expanding efforts to provide cooling, hydration, and support to those in need. Its cooling shelter at 1724 Northwest 4th Street is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 days a week. An execution date for an Oklahoma death row inmate has been set. State Capitol correspondent Trey Davis has more.
The Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals set August 13th as the date Carlos Cuesta Rodriguez will be executed by lethal injection. Cuesta Rodriguez was convicted of first-degree murder in the 2003 killing of Olympia Fisher. The Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board is expected to consider a request for clemency by Cuesta Rodriguez on July 14th.
From the Radio Oklahoma News Network, I'm Ann Roberts.
News at 7:30, a service of Barong Insurance Agency. Coming up next, we'll look at local funeral services after word from Lee Hometown Funeral Home.
Most people don't even know where to begin when planning a funeral. Who wants to think about that anyway? So we put it off and often leave the burden on someone else. Or if the unexpected happens to a loved one, funeral arrangements are the last thing we want to think about. At Lee Hometown Funeral Home in Clinton, they will help you make funeral arrangements with compassion and understanding. Brandon Lee, the owner of Lee Hometown Funeral Home, understands the difference that locally owned and operated makes. Please visit Lee Hometown Funeral Home today at 1217 West Gary in Clinton.
Funeral services for 77-year-old Howard Thomas Head will be held today at 10 o'clock at the Greenfield Baptist Church. Services under the direction of Turner Funeral Home in Hinton. Memorial services for 71-year-old Sue Patterson will be held today at 10 o'clock at the First Baptist Church in Hydro. Services under the direction of Lockstone Funeral Home in Weatherford. Funeral services for 82-year-old Glenda Harris will be held today at 1 o'clock at the Hinton Turner Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will follow at the Eakley Cemetery. Memorial service for 65-year-old Bruce Dwayne Hotz will be held Saturday at 10 o'clock at the Sickles Community Church in Lakiba. Burial will follow at the Hinton Cemetery. Services under the direction of Turner Funeral Home in Geary. Today's funeral notice is a service of Brandon Lee at Lee Hometown Funeral Home in Clinton.